Software engineering, what exactly is it? Well, it's defined as the focus on design and implementation of large-scale complex software systems. It is one of 5 disciplines that fall under computer science, and those other 4 include computer science, computer engineering, information technology, and information systems. A bit of background about the software industry is in the 1940s to 1960s, an event called the software crisis was happening where computer engineers just had a very tough time working on hardware and software, and so they had to pick and choose on what they could focus on, and they chose hardware. So NATO saw this as an issue, called up a meeting, and there they discussed what they would do about that. And so they decided, okay, software engineering is going to have its own focus and it's going to be its own separate field. So that still leaves people to wonder today, what is the difference between computer science and software engineering? So computer science looks at the bigger picture. They not only work with software, but all the components that make up computing, where software engineering just focuses mainly on software alone. So a few projects you may be familiar with that software engineers have worked on are application development, so the apps you have on your phone. A surprising industry that had a very high demand in software engineering was the automotive industry. So they work side by side with electrical and mechanical engineers, and they have projects ranging from Apple CarPlay to safety features like lane assist. The healthcare industry also has a pretty high demand in software engineers. They have projects where they work alongside biomedical engineers, and they have projects like medical imaging for MRIs, CAT scans, ultrasounds, all that kind of stuff.
If you want to become a software engineer, you have to understand the path that you need to take in school. It's going to have to be very math oriented, specifically focusing on algebra and calculus, as well as taking any possible computer science or basic programming classes that you can take. These classes will help you learn the skills needed to become a software engineer. Some of those skills I mentioned include having high technical and programming skills, any advanced math skills, understanding basic engineering principles, and understanding multiple different computer languages, as well as other skills. Even if you do take all of these classes, though, the most important thing is that you have to be passionate about becoming a software engineer, or else it would make the journey much more difficult if you do not enjoy what you are trying to learn. So being passionate is the main priority of becoming an engineer. You'll also need to have at least a bachelor's degree if you want to have any kind of job as a software engineer, as well as most likely any kind of job that falls under the category of engineering in general. If you want a better chance of being hired as a software engineer, you can also get something known as a certificate, which can help you prove your skills and knowledge of certain areas of engineering. An example of a certificate that you can obtain is the Professional Software Developer Certificate given to you by the IEEE Computer Society. And of course, another way of increasing your chances at becoming a software engineer is through having practical experience, which you can obtain through internships. Internships are extremely beneficial when it comes to getting any kind of job because it shows that you have experienced being in the shoes of whatever kind of job you are trying to obtain. Some examples of engineering internships I found are a software engineering internship at ASM International and an undergraduate internship at Intel, as well as others.
The two main societies when it comes to software engineering is the International Association of Computer Science and Information Technologies Software Engineering Society, as well as the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineering. The Software Engineering Society is based at the East China Normal University, while the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineering is based in New York City. However, most of their business is done and handled in New Jersey. The International Association of Computer Science and Information Technology states that they play an influential role and promote developments in computer science and information technology in a wide range of ways. And their mission statement is that they foster and conduct collaborative interdisciplinary research in state-of-the-art methodologies within an area of expertise, while the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineering is a leading authority in almost all areas of engineering. Anyone who wants to become a member or a committee of the International Association of Computer Science and Information Technology is required to submit an application, which is then processed within 3 to 4 days. However, if you're going to become a fellow of that society, it requires you to apply. However, only up to 5 new applicants will be accepted at the annual meeting every year in January. Whereas with the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, all that is required is for you to have 3 to 5 years of university experience and 3 years of professional work experience. And then you can apply to become a member of the Institute. That allows you to have access to all of their research and development, as well as post your own research that you do in your own time.
We had the opportunity of interviewing a software engineer by the name of Stephen Hines. He originally started his education out as an electrical engineer, but found that he enjoyed software engineering much more. So he got his bachelor's in electrical engineering, and then he pursued a master's degree in computer science, both of which were at the University of Miami. He would go on to work at IBM, Citibank, CSX Transportation, and finally, he would found his own company called Verum SG. We asked him a bit about the projects that he worked on. He said that his most challenging project was working on a piece of software that could take various sensor inputs and schedule inputs in for a rail network and then determine which trains needed to be where, at what time, which route they needed to take, which trains needed repairs or maintenance. We also asked him a bit about his opinions on the current industry. We asked him about AI. He says that AI it can be used for a lot of good. It just needs to be better regulated. We also asked him the difference between a software engineer and a computer scientist. He said that a computer scientist focus mainly on the theory, developing models and tools that can then be used by the software engineer to solve real-world problems, sort of like how a physicist develops mathematical models and a mechanical engineer then uses those mathematical models to solve real-world problems. That concludes our presentation on software engineering. Thank you for watching.